let's first talk about the how we connected. Okay.
Oh, that speed dating night, huh?
Yeah, the speed dating. I think that was fun because got to meet so many people, so many artists, and that you see people, but you don't really know exactly what it is that they do. So that was fun.
That was a brilliant way to circulate. I don't know if they've ever done that one before, but it really, right off the bat, I had several that I interviewed with, and I was like, oh, this isn't, their work wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't work.
Didn't click.
I knew it didn't click. And so when we had our chance, oh, she's a writer and an artist. That's cool. We'll do well. So I just sort of had made up my mind before we even got out the door.
Well, for me it was funny because I would, just like real dating, I was actually seeing myself with this person and taking their assets into account and figuring, I really like their work and this is how this might work and whatnot. But I was mostly evaluating their work and it was very hard because I could see myself working with all these folks, right? And I really liked what they were producing. But when I got to yours, it really intrigued me because of the 3D aspect. And I find that it has a lot of depth. So I thought we could really build on this.
And so now the rest is history. I mean, it was, from the get-go, it was a slowly evolving thing, and we'd get deeper and deeper, and I just appreciated it. It was like an organic growth to our project, the way it all manifested itself. It was just, it was really a highlight for me.
Well, the fun part was getting to know you more and finding all these other points of connection that we have.
Oh, I know. Yeah. There were quite a few.
So,
yes, very many. Yeah.
So then we moved to the concept development. So the meetings that we had and beginning to brainstorm on the theme, which was good to know. So the theme windows. So what were we going to do and how we began to brainstorm on these broad concepts of the idea of windows.
The operative word there for me was hope. And I saw that as I was reading your work, the interviews that you did with the women, how through the trials and tribulations and milestone events in their lives, there was that hope that was always out there. And I guess that's kind of where the concepts of my visual came into play, because I would look for symbols that had to do with hope, the rainbow, the Big Dipper, which referenced following the gourd. That was done in the 1800s with people trying to find hope for a better way of life, and that came out in your interviews. So I don't know. I think I'm taking our train of thought completely in a different direction here. So bring me back in. I do that as an artist. I go, okay, we're going to start with this little thing, and then before I know it, it's like, whoa.
It's expanded, and then it can morph. So,
yeah.
But I think it was great, once we began to say, yes, we want to focus on Houston, we want to focus on the community, and we started going in the direction of women. And I think when we began to see, well, what is the composition, and we began to see this cosmopolitan flavor of the community.
Yeah. That rings a bell. Take me back to when you were researching and saying there's so many percentages of this ethnic group in Houston. And I mean, we did a lot of research on this. It wasn't just all artistic, off the top of your hat kind of a thing. We went deep, and you uncovered a lot of facts and figures that allowed me to build on my vision, my ideas.
Oh, and that's what was, we were coming up with questions, and we had to find answers before we could proceed, because that's just the way we are. So with those answers, I think our idea began to take shape, and how were we going to integrate what we were learning into what we wanted to create as a project, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
exactly.
I think the idea of interviewing the various women from the various groups, I think was key, because then we began to see that even though they're elements of a whole, each one brings their own individuality, but when you bring them all together, the weaving that takes place to come up with this resistant community is important, because it would never be the same without one or another.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And that, I think we were able to make that happen in the artwork. And for me, it was more intuitive. It wasn't like, I mean, we did our research, and I researched symbolism and designs and all that type of thing, so that I could bring in design work on a particular egg that referenced a culture. And so, but again, for me, it was a very intuitive development, organic development.
Right, and to be able to tell, having these individuals, but building on them as inspiration to come up with a story that tells what the message we want to deliver, right? So bringing that information and distilling what we wanted to say, and then coming in with the elements to formulate the visual of delivering that idea. I think it was key, and the ideas that you were bringing with what I was saying and visualizing and building on that, how would we integrate that into the text as well? I think it was an ongoing collaboration back and forth, shaping this thing.
Yeah, it was like a dance. I mean, it was just, it was magical, and it was a lot of work, but it was fun at the same time, because we would just pick up that little corner and go, oh, there's more over here, let's look at that one, and let's look at that, and then finding the visual to incorporate it into the whole. It was one of my better, I don't mean to brag, but I mean, as a collaboration, it was rich. It was a really rich experience.
I think so. I think when people come to the exhibition, they're going to be very pleased, because they'll hear the stories, and then they'll be able to see the visual and begin to understand the depth of what they're seeing, the depth of what they're looking at. And the benefit is that they can walk clear around our piece, right? And then the 2D aspect, the outgrowth of that one piece, which is exactly what we had in mind from the very beginning, to bring in the whole, but also demonstrate that those elements are holistic as well. They are leads of separate systems that come in to integrate this community.
You're bringing to mind the writing of the proposal, how much of a challenge when you have to write a proposal to submit with your fees for this exhibition, how that is just like a leap of faith, because for me, I don't know where the art is going to go, and we found that out.
Yes.
It just pulled us along in a way that we didn't expect.
We
had to honor it, I think.
Yes, I think so. There was definitely honoring of the original concept and idea, but I think we went deeper. We went so much more deep than what we had ever thought, I think.
Yeah.
Because the ideas began to expand, and then there was multiple ways of seeing each one of the images. So it's not just what's there. You have to come in close up and begin to see the various layers and effects, and understand that what you're beginning with, which is the story, is really creating a path for you to begin and interpret what you're seeing. I think they'll find it fun and exciting, and maybe even things we haven't seen yet.
I hope so. I hope we get a good audience there for everybody. I mean, this is a major effort to put on an exhibition that's not in our normal geographical area. I mean, it's a haul to get down there.
It is, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other collaborations as well.
Oh, me too.
I haven't even had a peek, so it'll all be surprises, and I'm sure quite amazing.